Still on alcohol, illicit alcohol, killer brews, toxic brews, and most recently, second-hand generation alcohol. For many of us, there are names given to alcohol said to cause death and despair in many parts of the country. But do we know what they really mean? Where do we draw the line? And most importantly, is the war being fought against illicit alcohol targeting the wrong enemy? KTN's Dorcas Wangira sought to demystify the alcohol menace and the war it has triggered.
For years, even before we could understand the modern science behind alcohol, we have been drinking. Past generations had names like Muratina, Busa, Amalwa, Mnazi and Mahalange. Today we have refined brands of spirit, beer and wine. When death by liquor grew to endemic levels, we found new names: illicit alcohol, killer brew, methanol, toxic brew, and most recently second generation alcohol. But what's the difference? Or are these just terms we choose to flaunt? Organic chemistry has answers. If we look at how carbon combines with other elements, we will understand the science of alcohol. When alkanes, that is gases like ethane and butane, get heavy, they become liquid, such as petrol. Add water to an alkane and you have an alcohol. Methanol isn't fit for human consumption. It's extremely difficult to make and is the culprit behind blindness. Ethanol is suitable for human consumption and produced from anything that has sugar, such as like maize and barley, fruits and molasses. Here in Western, molasses are the king in ethanol production because of their high sugar quantity. Well, this is just a mini distillery at Chandumba in Western Kenya, the only brewery of its kind. It's not a big venture as EABL or even Keroche, but here we can at least find those answers. The process of alcohol has to do with fermentation, with yeast and distillation. Alcohol from molasses must be distilled. Here, we learn fractional distillation is employed to get beer, spirits, wine, brandy, more concentrated ethanol forms. The higher the alcohol, the more it has to be diluted. So whether it's Scottish Scotch, French Champagne, or Ugandan Waragi, all of it is alcohol. The difference is in the taste and the treatment process as well as the period. Processing ethanol can sometimes result in extremely tiny amounts of methanol, depending on the material and fermentation. Wines and beers have higher amounts than spirit, and that's where killer and toxic brews come in. They are produced unhygienically and deceitfully, using additives like battery acid, formalin and methanol, something unlicensed brewers and counterfeiters use because they have neither equipment nor technique nor the patience to mature alcohol. James Luchacha owns this licensed, certified and compliant mini distillery. His license has been suspended after the president's directive.
Even if you have a license, it is your business as the county commissioner kusema hii license is revoked. All right?
It pales compared to the bustling plant we reported about last year. All the employees and contract staff, mostly women, have no jobs for now. Hey, an engineer who pioneered massive Mumias projects, has visited distilleries around the world. He assures me that nobody in Kenya is able to produce second-generation alcohol on an industrial scale, let alone use it. Ethanol, food-grade alcohol, he says, is denatured in countries like Brazil and France to get fuel that has a higher energy content. Producing this uses cellulose found in grass and wood, something we don't do yet. But the war now clearly targets even licensed operators, something small-scale players says is misdirected. Granted, why would a factory that is licensed and pays tax and is certified by the Kenya Bureau of Standards poison its consumers?
Can be sure the people that produce counterfeits and that poisoned alcohol are laughing all the way to the bank, because the people who are producing proper alcohol have now been stifled. They have been declared as buccaneers.
There is no second generation alcohols which is fit for human consumption.
Pour liquor into streams and rivers, you are going to affect the local flora and fauna. Fish are going to die, crabs are going to die, whatever is that water is going to be affected. So to me, pouring spirit into the ecosystem is an environmental disaster.
The bar owner is only a trader selling somewhere else. So we must deal with this thing from the source. Whether it's KEBS, whether it's Nakada, we are requesting them to deal with this thing from the source.
Bars ambayo ukiona imelicensiwa imekaguliwa, na kama kuna mtu anafanya kazi mbaya ndani ya umma, go to the police, go and report to the police. My country that does not respect the rule of law is not a country at all. We must respect the rule of law.
It's only when we understand when the rain started beating us and identify the enemy within and without that we can win the war. Otherwise, demonizing and crippling small-scale alcohol manufacturers will just be pruning and opening a larger Pandora's box. Dorcas Wangira, KTN, Kakamega.
Now, away from alcohol for a moment, what difference would one bicycle make when given to a student in the most remote of places? World Vision and the World Bicycle Relief believe it will change the lives of those students completely. They have partnered to launch the Bicycle Empowerment Education Program. 200 bicycles were distributed in Luanda Secondary School in Kakamega. Now, the program targets 7 girls in every 10 students, most of whom have challenges such as distance and security to and from school. In the pilot phase, they hope to give bicycles to 3,000 students. The project has been successful in Zambia, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and it is being launched in Kenya for the first time in Siaka, Kakamega and Uasin Gishu counties. Now, the ultimate goal is to have increased access to school and better academic performance.
We will take almost 10 minutes to reach to school rather than 1 hour.
Ask why a bicycle. The reason is a lot of stakeholders in the education sector have focused so much on tuition, infrastructure, capacity building, as well as building water, sanitation, hygiene facilities. But nobody ever thinks about how this child or teacher actually moves from the house all the way to school, and from the school.
We are giving out bicycles to needy girls who are walking long distances to schools, because we believe that girls require protection. Girls require to be given an equal environment where they are able to perform like any other, like their boys.
Back to alcohol now. Meager fines for arrested illicit brews has been cited as a derailer in the war against illicit alcohol in Vihiga County. A 2-year imprisonment term or a fine of 10,000 shillings as punishment. Administration says it is not enough. Now, brewers from low-income families, however, say their financial situation is to blame for them getting into the brewing business. A 57-year-old widow, Phoebe Asio, was arrested in the ongoing crackdown with 250,000 litres of illicit brew in Goti Kabindu village at the Kisumu-Vihiga border. In her defense, she claimed brewing of alcohol was her only source of income. Now, Deputy County Commissioner Gloria Nyatich, who led the operation, urged residents to desist from brewing unlicensed alcohol.
Biashara kubwa kidogo kichwani, ndio nikaamua nitengeneze hii pombe. Sasa sijui chenye nitafanya. Serikali kama naweza kusaidia mimi, nasaidia mimi na pesa kidogo nianze na biashara nyingine.
To Mombasa now, a directive by the Mombasa County Government to stop the registration of new 3-wheel taxis, also known as tuk-tuks, has been met with outrage. The county wants to decongest the town, but tuk-tuk operators and a section of members of County Assembly have petitioned for the lifting of the order supposed to take effect end of this month. KTN's Coast reporter Francis Ontomwa examines the twist.
Every time the discussion to decongest Mombasa comes up, it is the tuk-tuk operators who suffer most. They are normally rerouted to other sections of the town. But this time around it appears the slap is even bigger.
The Department of Transport and Infrastructure, in an effort to streamline and make transport and movement within the county more effective, has essentially given an indication that at the end of this month there will be a pause on the registration of tuk-tuks or three-wheeler vehicles in the county.
And the news is now being received with sharp criticism from tuk-tuk operators who insist that they are not taking things lying down.
Hiyo itakuwa maonevu kwa sababu mimi mwenyewe ninakimbia karibu mwaka mzima sasa, sijaona kwamba mabarabara imejaa namna hiyo. Hata kama Digo Road wamefanya reorganization juzi, matatu zinapelekwa zipite kule chini kwa ile ruti ya Magongo. Sasa imewacha mara nyingi unapita Digo Road ikiwa haijajaa sana hivyo.
Tuk-tuk seti ndio ambayo imesababisha jamming kwa sababu kuna magari mengine tofauti na tuk-tuk ambayo pia yako Mombasani. Sasa tuwezi sema tuk-tuk ndio ambazo zinasababisha jam. Hapo atakuwa bado hajasuluhisha jam.
Tuk-tuk ni kitu ni kadogo ukikompea na gari ama matatu. Even though wangefanya bidii watoe matatu nje ya town, watu wache ndani ya town, sisi ndio tu operate tukapelekea watu matatu abiria at least nje ya town.
Sasa ukiona matatu inakusikizia huko, unataka kwenda kama Mombasa Hospital, unapata kazi ngumu sana kufika pale. Sasa tuk-tuk inatusaidia kufanya town center service.
Mtu aligizia tuk-tuk, si ndio? Zinakuja. Which means atazipeleka wapi hizo? Kwa hivyo lazima kuna policy, a duration. Tunaona juzi Uhuru Kenyatta alirecede the decision ya matatu, si ndio? Pia tunamwambia pia recede the decision ya tuk-tuk.
Well, the kind of Mombasa we're seeing is a Mombasa that moves. Yeah, a Mombasa that is, in terms of its transport and its infrastructure, that facilitates movement of people and of goods timely and in an effective manner. That's what we see. We're seeing a Mombasa that keeps moving. Yeah, a Mombasa that's on the move.
It will be interesting to see how the new directive will impact on the transport system here in Mombasa. Francis Ontomwa, KTN, Mombasa.
Let's cross over to Kampala, Uganda now, where police arrested a former prime minister who wants to challenge the president Yoweri Museveni for the ruling party's candidacy ahead of next year's elections. Museveni's opponent Amama Mbabazi was arrested while he was on his way to meet supporters at Mbale, a town near Kenya's border. Now, on the same day, police also arrested another presidential aspirant, opposition leader Kizza Besigye. Here's a report from KTN's partner station NBS in Uganda.
The police deployed at Kizza Besigye's residence in Kasangati in the wee hours of the morning.
I don't know why they are here. Certainly I'm a citizen of this country. This is my property. I cannot be imprisoned in my home, so I'm going to go out.
The former Forum for Democratic Change president and the 3 times presidential aspirant was scheduled to launch his presidential bid at the Kasangati playground at 11 a.m. before making another rally at Kawempe at 3 p.m. Besigye is competing against the current FDC leader, General Mugisha Muntu, in the party's flag-bearer race. The police would, however, have none of it and blocked him from leaving the residence.
What's the matter? Why do you put this in my road? You don't push the matter.
I'm here. Yes. Before me, there was therefore halting this rally which you are going for.
So if they are halting the rally, why should I stay at home?
I know you are ready to cause mayhem in the city center and some other
But
places.
you have an idea that this is not a prison. My home is not a prison.
No, it's not a prison.
So why do you try to imprison me in my home?
Please.
On what basis are you halting my movement?
I have.
You arrest me if you want to arrest me. Arrest me if you want to arrest me. I'm going to do that. Arrest me.
He was later arrested by Kasangati Police Station Commander Fred Ahimbisiwe and whisked him off to Nagalama Police Station in Mukono District.
But the cruise.
There was a scuffle after the police tried to block Besigye's car from following the police motorcade to Nagalama. There was panic in Kasangati town after a stick welding gang, commonly referred to as Chiboko Squad, was seen in the area. The infamous gang was seen moving alongside police officers. Dr. Kiza Besigye is still under police detention by press time. This report was compiled by Namayo Moses and Naigaga Sharon for NBS Sunset.
2 weeks after the Kenya Rugby Union chairman Richard Omwela stated that the rugby union is broke, the Kenya Sevens rugby technical bench together with experienced players are demanding their 3 months pay. The players who are almost starting the 2015-2016 HSBC World Series claim that their condition is not 100% fit for the Olympics, qualifying matches and the World Sevens Series.
If you're given a platform for you to perform at the highest level, then you can challenge the performance on the field. But if you are not given the platform, and this team is still striving above themselves, this team beat four times this year, beat Samoa. We've beaten Samoa in the past once out of 28 times. This team beat Samoa 4 times. So we are saying that we are striving, we're already pushing our boundaries.
I cannot push players that are in the wrong mental state. I cannot be shouting at players who don't come to training because they're doing an odd job, maybe of something to make a couple of cents to keep them going.
It's not going to be easy if you don't have a gym to be able to do your strength and body conditioning. If you do not have supplementation, how will you build bodies with no food? For the players, it is very brutal in this sport and even in the season to come for us to be able to take this thing lightly.
Gor Semilango has joined camp with suspended Sam Cholet together with a group of retired footballers in a bid to dethrone Sam Nyamwea from the FKF chairmanship. The group with the slogan "Stop Soccer Genocide" is yet to unveil their manifesto and offer a candidate for the said position.
Together we will take football very far and where it is needed. And I believe corruption will be a thing of the past. The writing is on the wall for those who think that other people can sweat and then they eat their sweat. I think their time is up.
You know who is killing football, who are the people that want to go back into the same office to again kill what is already dead. But this, I can assure you, is the winning team, and this is the team that can actually transform football in this country.
Young Pakistanis are taking up tennis for various reasons, one of them being a way to get tickets to a top US university in the United States on sports scholarship. In a 36-year coaching career, Khan, still a striking athletic figure at 65, has produced dozens of players who have played on the Pro Tour and in satellite events and represented Pakistan at the Davis and Fed Cups. But he says in recent years, the trend has been for even the most promising youngsters to lower their ambitions and see the sports simply as springboard to a college education they might otherwise struggle to afford. His own daughter, Sarah Mahboob, was #1 in Pakistan for 6 years but quit competitive tennis to look for a job based on her sociology degree from James Madison University in Virginia, United States. Now, her rival, Pakistan's former #2, Natasha Afridi, followed a similar path, as did several others of their contemporary ties. Now, big hurdle is money. Financial support is crucial as players try to make the step from promising youngsters to professionals. Well, that's it on Newsdesk this afternoon. My name is Najma Ismail.